Well, good morning, Art 1 class. This is Mr. Boltzmann, and this is my first attempt to make a YouTube video, so just kind of bear with me. This is an introduction to lesson 1, and I'm going to do some drawing lessons with you. Today we're going to do 2 drawings on the top for the first part of lesson 1, and then I'll do another video with 2 drawings on the bottom for lesson 2. Lesson 1 is going to start out with these characters here. We're going to do a foreshortened circle and a marshmallow dude, and then we're going to do a table. It's called a simple table, and those are 2 pretty simple lessons that I'd like to start with, but I'd like to teach you excuse me, some of the basics of this as we go. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is take this piece of paper, take it sideways, which is called landscape. And I would like you to take your paper, which is just an 8.5 by 11, and fold it in half this way, which is kind of the hamburger way, I guess. And then I would like you to fold it in half the other way so that it's in 4 parts. And then just open it up. That's pretty simple to do. You can see the fold lines on there. Then at the top, I have a couple different pencils I'm going to be using. One's darker and one's lighter. And I'm just going to put up here lesson 1. So if you could put lesson number 1 and put your name. And put the hour that you're in here. I'm just going to assume that this is a 2nd hour, so I'll put 2nd hour at the top. So I have lesson 1, your name, and the hour. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and zoom in to the first part of this lesson. And as we put this in here, you can see that a little bit bigger. All right, let's go back just 1. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a little bit about the 7 principles of art. The 7 principles of drawing, anyway, are surface, size, surface lines, overlapping, shading, density, and foreshortening. This first one is this foreshortening. If you turn it this way a little bit, you can see that the foreshortening works pretty well once you start to understand it. Now, I have a piece of tape here, a roll of tape that I'm going to use to demonstrate foreshortening. If I put this piece of tape straight down like this, you can see that it's pretty much a perfect circle, except there's a little dent right there, but that's okay. As I pull this and pull the front of the tape forward, you can see that this roll of tape appears to shrink. It squishes, and if you take it all the way like this, that roll of tape goes flat. See, it just goes to a straight line. As you open it up, it gets rounder, 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 rounder. If I set it down, then it's all the way around. As I bring this part forwards, it appears to get shorter. That's the whole concept of foreshortening. So we're going to try to do this foreshortening right here in the first drawing. This is one of the most important concepts to start to understand. All right, so for this first drawing, I'm going to start with a dot on the left and a dot on the right, about 3 fingers apart, okay? About 3 fingers apart. That works pretty good. Then, on the top, connect those 2 dots, and you can draw right with me with this. You can draw with me on this video, and then you can just stop it or pause it anytime you want. And then you can, if you missed something, you can go back and get it. And that's just fine. Okay, so I'm going to go around the top here. And then at the bottom, I'm going to round this out a little bit also. And I'm going to do this just a little bit darker so that you can see it easier. So that you can see it on the video. That helps a little bit. Okay, so there's my foreshortened circle. You can see it kind of looks like this squished circle if you go around the edge of that tape. All right, so from there, I'm going to take a line over here and I'm going to go straight down. And then this side over here, I'm going to go straight down. If you go straight down on each side, you're going to create some edges. And then on the bottom, what little kids will do is they'll draw a straight line across the bottom. Maybe you did that when you were younger. But what should actually happen here is the bottom of that, if you look at this tape roll, see the bottom is going to be rounded also. Actually, it's going to be a little bit more rounded than the top. That's the trick. So I'm teaching you some ideas from Mark Kistler. Mark Kistler has all kinds of videos online that you can watch. And we may watch a couple of his also during this first 3 weeks while we're in still working virtually online. So here you have this foreshortened cylinder with the top and the bottom. And that's kind of cool, but it's kind of boring. So I want to go and I want to add some things to this to liven it up. Just like this foreshortened circle, I'm going to add an oval here. And I'm going to put an eyeball on this guy like this. And as I put this eyeball on there, it's going to stick out kind of a little bit like, if some of you remember way back when, the VeggieTales guys were made similar to this. And then I'm going to put another eyeball right behind it. And it's going to be just slightly smaller. And it incorporates this idea of overlapping. See, overlapping is one of the drawing principles. If you put one line in front of another one, this one looks like it's in front of that one. So this eyeball looks like it's in front of that one. So I'm going to now take my little bit darker pencil, and you can just take your regular pencil. If you like a mechanical pencil, that's fine. No problem. And I'm going to make that a little bit darker. And in here, I'm going to, let's do another kind of an oval shape in here. Just to do the eyes. I'm not going to do any highlights in this one. I'm just going to keep it simple. You could leave a little highlight in there. So now this veggie tail looking creature, I'm going to call him a marshmallow dude. This marshmallow dude has some eyes and he's looking forwards. I'm going to turn this lamp back off and see if that's better. No, that's better. It's got just a little bit of a shine on there, but that's okay. All right. So from what I'm going to do here, I want to give this guy some eyebrows. So I'm just going to I'm going to do a curve at the top, and I'm going to give him an eyebrow over here. I'm going to give him an eyebrow over there. That's kind of fun. I'm going to give him some hair. So I'm going to take this and whoop, I'm just going to whoop, 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 whoop. I'm going to take that hair and I'm going to run that right out like that. You can give him a different kind of hair if you want. That's kind of fun. I'm going to give him a lip. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a frown. And then I'm going to turn this frown into a curve this way. And these curvy lines are really fun to do in drawing. And again, if you get to a point where I'm going too fast for you, I'm going to put its upper lip out like that just a little bit. If I'm going too fast for you, just stop the video and catch up, and then you can keep going. Or you can watch it all the way through and then draw the second time if you want. All right, I'm going to give him some teeth. I'm just going to come kind of straight down. I'm going to go a little bit of an angle. I'm going to give him a big old front tooth like that. And then let's give him a bottom lip. That's going to come through here like this. So he's kind of, there's the inside of his mouth. So I'm going to shade that in a little bit. That's kind of fun. You could give him some different expressions if you want. That's okay. All right, so now I have this marshmallow dude, and he's on my paper. He looks pretty good, but I want to add a light source to him. So I'm going to come up over here, and I'm just going to put an arrow. This is going to be my light. So as my light comes down at this guy like this, he's going to have shadows on the back side of him over here. So I'm going to take my pencil, and on the back side over here, I'm going to hold my hand with my pencil kind of like this, okay, between my thumb and my fingers. And I'm going to take my pencil, maybe on the side a little bit. You can do that. And I'm just going to rub, rub, rub. I'm going to go up and down and up and down and up and down, a little bit darker on the edge, and then a little bit lighter as it comes into the inside. All right, see how that works? A little bit darker on the edge, a little bit lighter as it comes into the inside, and just draw with me. If you've never shaded before, it's okay. If you've never shaded well before, it's okay. Just do what you can. The whole idea behind this is just to kind of show me what you can do. Okay, so that helps. That gives him a little bit of shadow. I'm going to even put a little bit of shadow on the side of his eye here. Just kind of go back and forth. And a little bit of shadow right here. That's kind of fun. All right. And then with this light source coming this way, since it's coming at an angle, I'm going to take this at an angle, and I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You see this angle. I'm going to call this angle northeast on the next drawing. But this angle takes us across, and you can go ahead and put in some shadows right there. And that looks pretty good, all right? So I want to do one more thing with this drawing. I'm going to call these different names, all right? So right here, where the dark meets the light, if you could please write down hard edge right there, EDGE. So that's a hard edge. This right here, where the light comes across and it gets light gradually, that is a soft edge. So you can write it right in. It's kind of like writing some notes on here. And this part right here, this shadow coming across here, that's called a cast shadow. So I have to start naming things a little bit. This whole thing is called a F-O-R-E, foreshortened circle. So that's what I'm working on here, is a foreshortened circle. And that's the first drawing of lesson 1, is a foreshortened circle, and I just call this guy a marshmallow dude. He's kind of fun to draw. So draw along with me and then see what you can do. And then I would like you to submit this to me when you get all done with lesson 1. Lesson 1 is going to take you 2 days, probably. So this is the first part of the first day. And I'm thinking maybe, for you to work about half an hour a day on these would be great. Okay? Half an hour a day. The second one we're going to do is a little bit simpler. It's going to encompass this, drawing compass here. Let me back out just a touch. There we go. And with the drawing compass, it's kind of like this circle that we had. If you see the direction lines on there, if I put it like this, they go north, south, east, and west. As I take this up like this a little bit, and then spin it a little bit, you can see that this little line right there goes up at an angle. I'm going to call that northeast. And this little angle comes over what I'm going to call northwest. Here's the compass. I'm going to call this northeast. I'm going to call this northwest. All right. With that being said, next thing we're going to do is a foreshortened square, kind of like this. I'm going to do a simple table, and we'll put that in there, kind of the same way that we did the other one. So if you take your hand and if you do 2 dots, kind of about 3 fingers apart, do 2 dots. Let me close in on you here a little bit so you can see this a little bit more clearly, a little bigger, okay? Now, here's the trick for the second part. If you put your finger right between those 2 dots like this, put a dot at the bottom part of your finger, and then at the top part, maybe even a little bit smaller if you have fat fingers like me. You could even make that a little bit smaller. So now I have these 4 dots. With these 4 dots, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them now. So this is going to go northeast. This is going to go northwest. This is going to go northeast. This is going to go northwest. So if I would continue this, you could just go, this is going to go northeast. Like north is straight up, east is straight over this way. So that's going to go at an angle. That's a northeasterly direction. This is going to go northwest. It's the northwesterly direction. North is straight up, west is straight across. That's going to be northwest. And that's the trick to doing a foreshortened square. All right, that's what this is going to be. So take this line and go straight down, straight down, straight down from those first three dots. Just go down a little bit and then do another line going northeast and then another line going northwest. So now I have one northeast, I have one northwest. Right from this middle, you're going to go straight down. Come in from that edge a little bit, about half a finger, and go straight down. And come in from this edge a little bit and go straight down. All right? Now, at the bottom, a lot of people want to draw a straight line across the bottom like this, but that's not right because that wouldn't be in good perspective. So I'm going to do this one in northeast, maybe even just a little bit more of an angle than the top works good. And I'm going to come over here northwest, maybe just a little bit more than that. And our drawing is pretty much done. All right, so that's it. That's called a simple table. And I'm going to put some shading to it. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to write for F-O-R-E, shortened, S-H-O-R-T-E-N-E-D, foreshortened square. Because that's what we're dealing with here is a foreshortened square. And if I had a little block, I could show that to you real easily. I probably will on another video. Okay, so this is northeast and that's northwest. Now I also want to put a light source. And when I do light sources, I just do, I just do a little arrow coming down like this. So my light is coming this way. My light is going to hit the top of the table. It's going to hit this side of the table. It's going to hit this side of the table. But on the back side of the table over here, it's going to be in shadow. So I'm just going to take my pencil and go up and down, 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 up and down like this. And I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to go up and down, 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 up and down like this. And that's called hatching when you go one direction. I can also go another direction. I can go and shade it in that northwesterly direction. That looks cool. That works good. So you can shade it like this also. I'm going kind of quickly here. Again, you can stop this video. You can pause it. You can back it up. You can do it over and over again. That's fine. All right, now here's a little tricky part. This part of the table is casting a shadow on the bottom part of the table. So I'm going to put just a little bit darker area right in there. That's a little trick that artists use to show that there's a shadow coming down. And then here's the last part of this drawing. With this northeasterly direction there, I'm going to have a cast shadow that I'm going to put coming off of this little table here, going like this. And I'm going to take this out and put a little bit of a cast shadow like that. And this is lesson one. Let's back it up a little bit. This is the first two drawings of lesson one. I'm going to break this into two videos. So this would be like one day. This would maybe be your Monday. You could do these two drawings, and that's great. This again right here is a cast shadow. You can write that in there. And this over here is a hard edge. This does not have any soft edges because it doesn't gradually go around like the marshmallow. This one is just kind of meets right there and it's kind of rough. So just a quick review. You have a foreshortened circle and a foreshortened square. Foreshortened circle, as you bring this up, it gets shorter and it foreshortens like on the marshmallow dude. A foreshortened square, if you take a square and bring the front up, it looks kind of like a diamond on the top. And I hope this is helpful for you. We're going to continue. I will do another video for the second part of this lesson where we're going to do two more. So thank you so much. And I will sign off here and we'll be good. Thanks.